Speaking of innovation, and to go back to your practice, what are the areas of the new technologies you think mediation could really be an effective dispute resolution mean? Think about, for example, the metaverse or the cyberspace or the blockchain, for example. From your experience and from knowledge about mediation, how mediation could really address the common legal challenges that these technologies and these industries are facing today?
Sure. If we go back to the basic of mediation and we look at the attributes of mediation, so if we name it, mediation is negotiation process, which is, facilitated by a specialized mediator. The specialized mediator can be technically savvy in a specific technical expertise. The parties can choose one or more mediators. The process is confidential, and the parties can decide on what type of information to disclose, what type of information not to disclose. The process is speedy and quick, and the parties can decide on actually the duration of that process.
Control.
Yeah, the communication between the parties is without prejudice, so there is no fear of disclosing information that can be used against them. So if you look at these attributes, and the entire process in a way is, the fruit of, collaboration between both parties to come up with a solution of their own creation at the end of the day. So these are the 7 main, attributes of mediation. Now, if we look at these, and we can go into specific situations and industries and situations where we can find that where these attributes would really be leveraged.
Exactly.
Right? So speed and confidentiality, very, very important in technology and innovation. Technology is running at a pace no one can catch it.
Correct.
So not even legislators and regulators.
Yes.
So you go on, for example, a dispute with respect to market share in certain, for example, technology. Okay, 6 months later, you're already starting to build a new technology. So you want something which is very quick and speedy, to catch up with this space.
To adapt to the source.
Yes. So mediation can be helpful for that. You have a dispute, for example, involving a breach, for example, of confidential information. Let's say, where in specific industries, that's confidential information and know-how. It is, the bread and butter of the business. Let's say, for example, in software industries where, there are, specific confidential information on how, for example, an algorithm runs, for example, in search engines, let's say, there's a lot of confidential information of how search engines run, how the algorithms are being built. Let's say, a developer and a search engine owner, for example, they have a dispute with respect to that kind of development of, for example, that kind of algorithm, and there's no interest of disclosing that, and they want to keep, there's an interest of keeping the information confidential while trying to resolve the dispute. This kind of disputes, mediation, because of the confidentiality of the process, and because, yes, in courts, there are means on how to keep, information confidential. For example, if it relates to trade secrets, special, procedures for that, and our, dispute resolution councils can speak more about that. But because mediation is a confidential process, and there is a control by the parties to disclose what they want and what they don't want to disclose in that process, and because it goes beyond the pure letter of the legal conflict, the parties can be more comfortable in going through a mediation, for example, and deciding of the content of the information being communicated and disclosed, to try to find a business solution and a settlement to the conflict between them. Another one is, for example, where there is complementarity between the parties. For example, the market, again, because there is room to find business collaboration, business deals between the parties, and there's an ongoing relationship between the party, which is interesting from the business perspective for both of them. Mediation becomes a very interesting one. Now, technology and innovation, as I mentioned, mediation is very interesting because you can choose the technical expert you want as a mediator, first of all. So you can choose your mediator to be a technical expert or knowledgeable, or coming with a technical background or engineering background or scientific background, for example, to drive in or facilitate the mediation process. So that's very interesting in the technology area. Second, because of all the gray legal areas, around specific legal topics in technology. For example, if we speak about the metaverse, today, there are still a lot of, gray areas. Blockchain, for example, artificial intelligence, whatever, it's building. The legislative framework is being built today. But now, does it answer to all the questions being posed? No, it doesn't. So now if you have conflicts and you want to resolve these, business people don't like unpredictable things.
Outcome, yeah.
They like to predict. Even, they want things to be more predictable. And because of these, a lot of gray area that can happen in the innovation sphere from the legal perspectives, mediation becomes as well maybe one of the appealing means for these parties to resort to. And the third one is speed, because you really want, a speedy process to go to that. And innovation-driven organizations and enterprises have that very business and innovative mindset. They like things to be done quickly. They are more concerned about execution, making things happen, delivering, going to the market, coming up with an improvement to the product, developing a new stuff. They don't want to lose their time and
momentum, and also in light of the competition, the strong competition that we have in the market as well. So they want to keep up with things.
Definitely. They want to push things to the market. They want to execute from the business perspective. So speed becomes a very important aspect in that. And because, whatever they can win out from a long dispute, they can lose from, as you mentioned, competition, which come with, competitive products quickly competing to their technology. As you mentioned, the pace is moving out very, very quickly.
Protecting their innovation.
Or yes, losing some other opportunities on the side. So from this perspective, they would measure it and they would maybe find that, mediation can play, a role in helping them achieve what they want to achieve and beyond the specific legal dispute, without losing all the other opportunities, and also within their mindset, business and innovative mindsets. Another important aspect, entrepreneurs and startups, which we cannot ignore today. They are the engine of the economy. In any healthy economy, they are the engine at the end of the day. And in the United Arab Emirates and in the region, as there is a huge focus on, entrepreneurship as well and startups, you need to present to these startups and entrepreneurs who don't necessarily have a lot of financial means and big financial means, ways to resolve their disputes in a speedy, cost efficiently and technically sound and business sound manner.
Especially if the opponent or the party on the other side of the table is more powerful or have more means or influence, which is mostly the case in all startups disputes. So
definitely.
This is also could ensure some balance of powers between
definitely. Definitely, that's a very important aspect. Is that if that entrepreneur or startup are facing a giant established company, for example, if they can really get them to sit on the same table and discuss through, for example, a regulated mediation process, that would be best for them. And now if you look from the other side, you know, would a large company, for example, established company find interest in going through a mediation process? Again, for both of them, it's a strategic decision.
Correct.
And this is something that, you know, the counsels on the case have to think carefully, you know, with that wisely, strategically, on if they are to recommend or propose mediation, how and when to get into the mediation process.
On this note, thank you so much, Ahmed, for your invaluable input on this subject. This is the end of our first episode in this series, but please stay tuned for much more episodes and sessions on mediation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.